We're rolling.
Alrighty, Sharp Customs. Yeah, we got the crazy guy here. We got Mad Max. He just wants to play and play and play. He's getting better, man. He's getting better. Oh, you're such a good boy. Such a good boy. He's pretty mellow. He's mellowing out. Sharp Customs. You know the routine. Tonight we are going to talk about fiberglass, and fiberglass. So I've got this GT40, this beautifully painted, stickered out GT40. This is a friend of mine's. Lives right here in town. As you can see, he had it out a couple weeks ago, and he kind of busted the front end. There's a crack, kind of goes all the way across. Yeah, he curbed it. He curbed it a few times. No traction with these tires. Still, nice paint job, nice body. I'm gonna flip it over. He brought it here. He left it here with me. Now he's stripped out a bunch of the electronics because he's building a new one, a new chassis. And you know, these tires, they're kind of hard as a rock. I think he's gonna do something on the second GT40. I'm gonna undo these bolts. These hold the body on. We're gonna let you see. We're gonna let you see. You can kind of see the undercarriage. So this all started out. He's got batteries up here with a light system, so the headlights light up and the tail lights light up. He's running a. Let me see here if I can see it. He's running a Spectrum. I don't see any numbers on it. He's running a Spectrum electric motor. There we go. It's a pretty cool build. You know, it's let me put it this way. It's basic. It's basic. It's all, a lot of it is plastic. He's broken a lot of it. He's had to put, you know, reinforcement and stuff like that. These pieces on top are steel. He's got a strut on the bottom that's steel to help reinforce it. He's still got the brushless Spectrum in there. And this thing went, I seen this thing go, man. This thing, you know, for what it is, it actually it went pretty good. And he did some, you know, he did some major detail on the body. It's got some wear and tear. That's what I'm gonna say. You know, it needs a little bit of fixing up. It's actually, the body is, I'm not sure what this body weighs, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think he needed a support in the front, because the front is, you know, it can all be fixed. All of this stuff, it can all be fixed. It's still a very cool looking GT40. So we're gonna jump from this. Can't wait to see his second one. And I am making him another body, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it in this video. I'm gonna jump around a bit. So I got the 34 here started. Yeah, it looks all hairy as you can see, but I wanted you to see. So I've done the front. I've done the firewall, the windshield. Now I will trim all this hairy stuff. I will trim. I did do the roof, the back, the trunk. It's kind of all one piece. I will trim all this fiberglass out of the way when I lay up the sides. I'm just I gotta order some more material. I've got lots of resin, I've got lots of release, I've got lots of wax, I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff, but I'm running low on my veil, my half-inch veil, half-ounce veil is what I use to get all the intricacy of a mold. I'd love to pull one of these off so you could, you know, kind of see it. Yeah, I'm not going to pull it off, because if I pull it off, then I got to hot glue it back on while I do the sides. So last week, I was laying up a second car for my friend that lives in town here, and it's sitting right here, and I told him he couldn't have it. It's another GT40 body, as you can see. It's very light, weighs less than 3 pounds, but let's have a little look at it. Look at all this destruction. Okay, this is what you call gatoring, and that's when you have one chemical attack another, you know, chemical. You're using all the same materials. You know, I'm using all polyesters. But I had this idea when I had the mold all together that I would brush in a layer of polyester resin. I was going to do a clear cast. Oh, why is it yellow? Well, because I just like to tint my resins with colors. It's more fun in a sense. It's got nothing to do, does not inhibit the materials one bit whatsoever. Not that now I'm not a fiberglass expert, so I don't think it inhibits it. I only put a drop, you know, a couple drops of you know, paint pigment into the resin. So I decided I was going to do a clear cast because I was waiting for more product to come, gel coat and more resin and some cloth and whatnot, and I thought, well, heck, I'll do a clear cast, you know. So I brushed in a coat of polyester resin, let it harden overnight, and then I started laying up the glass inside it the next day, and right away I seen, you know, bubbling on the inside. I saw some weird stuff going on when I put down the veil, you know, the half-ounce. But I thought, well, I can't stop, because if I stop now, it's pretty much garbage. So I might as well carry on. This is number 15, by the way. I figured I would carry on. I put in a layer of 6-ounce chop, and, you know, do it front to back, and we'll see what happens. And as you can see, you know, we've got it pretty much gatored everywhere. And to fix this up, it's not a total loss. We're missing, you know, we're missing stuff here. We got some pretty deep holes. But yeah, there's so everywhere on the sides, the back, this side, everything on the surface, not bad. A little bit of gatoring here and there. That's pretty easy to clean up. And I know what happened, because so my mold sits this way, and when I brush all the resin in, you know, resin is pretty thin, and I'm guessing it ran down to these flatter surfaces. And then when I tried to lay it up the next day, it, well, you know what happened. You can see what happened. It just, it all went for a crack. Now, it's a good lightweight body. Now, it's this being one layer of 6-ounce. You know, so all total you've got 7 ounce. 7 ounce of fiberglass material. Not what I would consider strong enough. You know, for an electric setup, probably a pretty good layup. But you know, you're not going to want to hit something. You're not going to want to hit something with it. But this can be fixed up. That's why I thought, you know what, I'll shelf it for now. I'll pick away at all this, you know, all this roughness. I'll pick away at it. I'll body fill it. I will actually, you know, I'll put some reinforcing in here to stiffen it up. And eventually it will become, it'll become a GT40. I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't give this to anybody, you know, not even for free. It's just not, to me, no, I'd rather just throw it on the shelf. Rather just throw it on the shelf, fix it up, clean it up, and, you know, carry on. It was an experiment. I am constantly experimenting with, you know, my fiberglass work. So, we're going to take a little walk, because this is just supposed to be a little short video. We're going to take a little walk over this way, and we're going to look at the second GT40 I laid out in the past day or two. I would like to, I wish I could just, you know, fiberglass and fiberglass and fiber. I wish I could make these things so much faster, but it takes, you know, it takes time. I'm not using a chop gun. Everything that I do, you got to keep in mind that it's hand layup. You know, it's hand layup. I like my half ounce veil. I got a new roll of material which I thought. Are you looking at my beer? Is that what you're doing? Are you looking at my beer? I don't care if the viewers see my beer. So I got a new roll. I got another 10 yards of 50-inch, 10 yards of what they call surface veil. I'm using it. I mean, I bought it. I'm using it, but it doesn't work quite as good as this first stuff I got. This stuff's like tissue paper. It goes around corners and contours so nice. And for the life of me, I can't remember where I ordered it from. And as you can see, I've got my roll of cloth. Cloth is for strength. Cloth is for strength. This roll of cloth has been kind of hiding. I bought it way back when I started the truck bodies, and I was using it in them, and I did it in the first couple of GT40s, and then I kind of abandoned it. Because it does not conform. It just doesn't conform, you know, to curves and 90s and stuff like that. So I kind of abandoned it, and you know, I went to 2 layers of 6-ounce chop. Because put it this way, most of the vehicles that I'm selling, they're not really being used the way I torture them. Let's just put it that way. You know, do they need strength? No, not really. Not really. Because the majority of them, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. They're going to be pretty looking vehicles that they're going to be pretty looking vehicles. How about that? Come on over here. Come on over here. We've got number 16 in the molds. I'm going to take a little chug of my beer, and we're going to pop this. And I know that all my viewers, I know you've seen me demold you know, molds before, but you know, we're gonna have a quick little look at this. I don't know if we'll get all the way through it. Yeah, go ahead, watch me, honey, watch me. We're gonna demold this, and we're gonna have a look. I put gel coat in this one, you know, because the clear cast thing didn't quite work out. Now, normally when I do clear cast, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't put in a layer of resin and wait. I'm laying the glass as I'm working the resin. That's how I do the molds. You've seen the 34 over there. That is clear cast, but I did not put down a layer of resin and then start molding. You know, like the next day. No, I put the resin down, I put my veil down, and away I go. I say we pop. Let's pop it. I got all the bolts out of it. This is pretty fresh. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is pretty fresh. This has only been still a little sticky. It's only been sitting for a few hours, but I say we pop it and we have a little look to see if my buddy Jeff's, this is my second go around. Oh, and I did use, so I did one whole coat of veil. You do crisscross over, so some places like up front here where it's a little tricky, a little harder to get at, I do almost a double layer of veil. The back, I used to do a double layer of veil. I'm kind of cheaping out. I'm cheaping out on the veil. As long as I get those nice crisp corners and contours and stuff on my first pass, then I kind of leave it at that, because there's kind of no point. There's no point, you know, doing double layers of the veil. It's like, I'll probably even start to do that up at the front. You know, just do one layer, get it nice and crisp, get it clean, and if you see this odd looking in the window area, there you can see the cloth there. So yeah, so this one is going to be super strong because it's all in here, all the way down through the roof. Now I don't completely cover the windows. It's kind of pointless because, you know, most people cut the windows out, so why would you put the material there? Why would you waste, you know, the cloth, the material, the resin? So I just kind of go around the edges. Let's pop this sucker. Oh, that was easy. No, I already checked it out earlier, that's why. I just wanted to have a look. We'll just stick these down below. You've seen it before. I know you all have. Let's pull this PVA. I'm not gonna do this on every panel, because you've seen it, you know, you've seen it a lot on Sharp Customs. Look at that though. You know, the majority of this tail panel, so I did something different. As you can see all around this edge, you can see this, the putty, the plasticine. And what I did with this one, every single time that I have laid up, this is number 16, believe it or not, and every single time that I have laid up a GT40 anyway, and some other things, I'm constantly experimenting to see what works and what doesn't work. So what I did is I made a gasket with the plasticine, because it's not that I care about the flanging. You know, there's flanging on here. You can see it. It's very thick. But I thought, well, you know, maybe if I made a gasket, as I'm putting each piece of the puzzle together, maybe, just maybe, you know, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a cheap bastard. If I can save a buck or two here and there, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I've had the gel coat run right through this flange and drip out the end, you know, and then I end up with this like a 1 inch, you know, or 1.25 inches, whatever it measures, you know, big ass flange all the way around here, which I just break off, and that goes into the garbage, and then I gotta sand it, you know. And it's like, if I can kind of prevent that, this back section is very hard. If you look down in there, it is very hard. I can't putty. I cannot putty down in that flange area. It's just, it's virtually impossible. Let's pop another one. Let's pop them. I'm gonna, they come off so easy, see? See, look, there's my gasket right there. I use the plasticine as a gasket to kind of prevent the material running through. It's just plasticine. It's cheap. You know, you buy it by a 2-pound brick. Quit playing with it, damn it! Just undo the molds. Okay, I'm gonna throw these underneath here. I'm gonna throw these underneath here. Let's pop this one over here. Oh, that's a sound. That's the sound of success. Look at that. Look at that. These molds, 16 cars. These were clear cast. These were clear cast molds, just like I've done on the 34. You know, when I do the 5-piecers, there's actually I can actually feel, you can see a little bit of warpage. A little bit of warpage going on there. And that's it's kind of a common thing with fiberglass work. Now what I look at is it's hard to see because we got the PVA on there, but it's so, look at that, it's so sleek and it's so smooth, eh? And I don't see anything. I don't see any flaws. I say we just you know what I always say, we're gonna keep it short and sweet, but you know what, we're gonna pop this whole thing. I don't care. I don't care if it's an hour. We're gonna pop the whole thing. Let's flip it over. Let's pop it. So far I'm impressed. Oh yeah. Johnny with a screwdriver. Hey? No plastic wedges happening here. Stuff is looking awesome. Let's pop the other side. We have kind of a process. Oh, I like it. See, look at that. I like it when the PVA comes off with the mold. What do you see there? Do you see anything? Do you see anything you shouldn't see? It looks beautiful to me. Oh, I see. Oh, right there. Right there. Right there. There's just a little spider. Right there. But that's nothing. That is nothing. Let's keep popping. These come off easy. The vents. I'm always looking. I'm always looking. I just have this habit of always looking. Let's just pop them all off. Let's get them off. Look at that. Look at how nice my molds. Hey? Look at that. Look at how nice my molds. It's looking good. It's looking very good. It's looking very good. Here, I'll pull some I'll pull some PVA kind of as we go. That's kind of satisfying. You can wash this off with just regular water, but it is so satisfying to kind of peel it off. As you can see, there's my putty. What do we got for a flange line? That's what I'm kind of curious about. I got almost nothing. I got almost nothing there. Like that, you know. Sand that little. It's like static. To sand that little edge there. That's kind of what I was hoping for. What do we got left here? We got the center section. Let's see what we can do here. Center section. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Get this whole center section. Maybe I should pull these fenders, these front quarters. Oh, we got, okay, so we got, you know, it happens. We got a little bit, oh, we got a little bit of gator there. That's what I call minor. That's what I call minor. You know, a lot of these inside curves, when you're inside here, it's got to be brushed. They can't be sprayed with the dump gun. So it has to be brushed, and obviously brushing doesn't quite get the gel coat as thick. Well, now that side looks good. That side looks awesome. I love, you don't know how much I love popping these things. Yeah, now my molds I've got, you know, I've got putty, I've got, you know, I've got the release. Are they taking, here, I want to show everybody. So right here, there's a little crack right there. And same over here. I got a little cracking in the mold. I got a little cracking here. So are the molds taking abuse? Yes. Yes, they are. But they are holding up. They're holding up. We're at 16. This is 16. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. So we've got light flanging here. I don't see, you know, we get these weird, I get these weird little spots like that, you know. That doesn't really matter because the window's going to be cut out. I don't see anything right here. I always had this little issue. There's a little hole in the mold right there. And I always end up with a big bump of gel coat there. This time I actually put some putty there. And it, oh come on, you can't tell me that is not satisfying. Pull the PVA off.
Like peeling the skin off a sunburn.
Yeah, like peeling the skin off a sunburn. Let's go for the front. Let's go for the front. We got two more pieces. We got two more little pieces here. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. We got the whole nose. You can see my gasket I created. Basically, I took the putty and I twisted it in my fingers, made it about 1/8 of an inch, and stuck it about 1/8 of an inch in from the edge, and then you can see it, how it flattened out. And did I have to go in? Yes, I did have to go in there and kind of fix some of it. Awesome. Awesome. Now with the gasket on my molds, so I'm looking at all of this where we just took that one big piece off, and so far they only just this one fender right there, that one front quarter. We got a weird little spot right here. Kind of looks like maybe the gel coat pulled out of there. Not really sure. But as you can see the flange lines. But that stuff all gets sanded off, and it becomes smooth. We get a flange line around. Now what I'm noticing is that flange line is it's thick. It's thicker than what I normally see. Now we got the toughest. I'm sorry, I gotta pull some more PVA. I just like pulling it off. But look at this. Headlight buckets. This stuff is awesome. It's like saran wrap, eh? It's like saran wrap. But it works so great. So this is the toughest piece of the puzzle. It's always you know, because there's so much, and I have broken this mold right there. I'm going to grab another little screwdriver if I can find it. I found it. Got this little screwdriver. And I just need to find the right place. Oh, yeah, we can chip out the, there's a little bit of flanging there. Oh, it's off. Oh, it's like super thick. It's like super thick. There we go. Get that in there. Kind of pry. This is where I believe the very first, pretty sure the very first GT40 that we pulled out of the molds, I actually got wounded. That's just flange. I got wounded doing this because I really wasn't sure how I should go about popping this front off. Now, obviously, you know, number 16, I have figured it out. That piece of mold does get a little wounded around the edge, but it doesn't affect. Let's have a look at the nose. I'm always looking for that, you know, the wrinkling, the gatoring. That's what I'm always looking for, especially up here around the nose, because the nose is always the, you know, all the stuff in around the nose, these little pockets. If I show you the inside, I can show you that. Well, there you go. Just look at that. That is pretty intricate to get your cloth, your gel coat, all your materials, even the PVA, you know, in there. Does it? Here, I'll show you a good close-up. You can see there are cracks. There are cracks. I wish this was all cleaned up, because, you know, there's a crack. There's a crack there in this mold. This one probably takes the most abuse. There's a chip. Look at that right there. There's a chip. There's a chip. You know, do I need to repair that? Not really. Not really. It'll just be excess material inside the pocket. Inside the pocket, that's not really too critical because, you know, a lot of guys cut all this stuff out. They cut this out, they cut these out, they cut this out, you know, because these are lights, these are vents, that's a vent. So, that's freaking awesome overall. And this being the hardest, I got a little pitting right there. I got some weird stuff underneath here. Doesn't look like anything important. It just looks, it's just kind of veiny. Here, I'll put it in the light. It's kind of veiny, but I don't feel, so if I run my thumbnail over it, oh, maybe one little hole there that can be filled. But no major. That's awesome. No, I don't see any. This one's nice and, like I say, oh, I got a little bit, look at that right there. Just a tiny bit there. Oh, I see some, maybe a little bit there of gator, but minor. Like minor, nothing like that yellow one I showed you. That thing was just, that thing was horrible. You know, I'd say the worst on this one, yeah, it's covered in PVA. The worst on this one is like just right here, this little bit of front fender right here, and that's nothing because when you sand all this flanging off, as you can see the way the flanges are, so you got a flange here, and then you've got this flange coming up around here. So when you sand all this off, these three pieces, you know, the front, and the fender, they're not quite, so the molds don't quite line up. You know, they're just offset, just a tiny bit. And I think that's just a case of, you know, using the molds over and over and over. When you bolt them together, they just don't quite get there. I don't worry about it because I've always known that every one of these, when I sand this stuff off, I've always got to just, you know, a little bit of butter there on both front corners. But, you know, the rest of it. Now, my flange lines, I'm not going to know until I start sanding this thing down. The flange lines seem, there you go, they're thick. They are thick. Now, whether that was because I used the gasket, I have no issue with the thick flange lines. That stuff burns off with an orbital sander very fast. But, there you go, look. Look how soft. See that? See how soft the window is? But around the edges will be super strong because I put extra material. This one I kind of stepped out of the, like I say, I stepped out of the box and I put cloth in it. All the windows should be, you know, they're a little bit softer because the windows will be cut out. That's really soft. Look at that. I could probably poke my finger through that window, right? I could probably just go, boom, but I'm not going to. I will leave that up to its new owner. So there you go. Number 16, GT40. Yes, it needs a mild, what I call a mild cleanup. You know, I have this thing all sanded down tomorrow. I probably won't trim it out. I'll leave that up to the new owner. You know, I'm probably going to sit here tonight and just pick away at the PVA. because it's fun. There's most of the flanging, it just snaps. Get rid of it just snapping it off. But yeah, there you have it. Another GT40. Now it's not fully dry, it's not trimmed, it's not cut. I'm not going to put it on the scale to show you all what it weighs. I'm going to take a guess. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say she's a 6-pounder. That's my guess. And maybe in the next video we'll give you a more accurate account of what this GT40 body, what it weighs. You know, once you get all the excess flange off, you know, and you get all the PVA off and you get it sanded. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, the color, the baby blue, we're actually pretty close. I was pretty close. It was just a guess. It was just a guess. When I tinted the gel coat, it was, I actually pulled up a picture and I'm pretty close to the 10 miles 1966 GT40 color, the baby blue. I am so close. It's too bad, but you know, these things always need a little bit of butter. So there you have it. You get to see me demold another one, you know. And I didn't spare you the pain of undoing all the bolts that hold those 13 pieces of mold together. So there you have it, and I'm getting the hell out of here. Sharp Customs, share, like, subscribe. Thank you to all my new subscribers, like 40 of them. Thank you to all my regular subscribers, man. I love you all. And hit that notification bell, man, so that you know when we're rolling. We're rolling out, man. I love you all. Peace.